I appreciate everyone from watching up until this point, and I hope you enjoyed the series so far. I think the next series I might do after this, like I said before, is probably the Invincible War, but I appreciate you, like I said, for watching up until this point, and I hope you enjoy the final series. So here we are inside of a bunker. There was actually a Men in Black and a Commando and a Majestic 12 straggler that apparently were not harmed by the bomb. This data cube has something interesting. It's the MJ-12 Advanced team, and they talk about 87X in its Cepheric 8X classified facility. I'll leave that up there for just a second, but I thought that was kind of interesting read. So again, inside of this warehouse, I'm getting ready to talk to this gentleman here. He looks to be the last of the actual soldiers because MJ-12 has basically taken over this base. They've killed a lot of the Army personnel. And real quick, I wanted to mention that Bob Page, I went to this bunker, this armed door basically that looks like blast doors, and he came over the message and he said, just to let you know, I'm behind these blast doors and no nukes or anything can get to me. So he is definitely in hiding right now.
I give up.
Relax. I'm not from Majestic 12.
Who?
The guys who've been shooting people. I was under the impression that they ran this facility.
Oh no, I've seen them underground. I've heard rumors, but I didn't really think...
More of it's true than you would believe. I'm here to stop them. Can you help me get inside the bunker?
You must be crazy.
I'm going after their leader, Bob Page. Can you help me or not?
Well, yeah, sure. If you want to open the blast door, the security terminal is at the top of the control tower. The login is A51, password XX15YZ.
That's more like it.
Just inside of Area 51, and Bob Page is actually on the run right now in Area 51. Definitely don't remember a lot of this from the original Deus Ex, so they did a really good job of kind of revamping this and giving a little more suspense about Bob Page in the end.
The schematics show an elevator to the west, but utility power is down. You need to bring up the power before you can use the elevator.
Don't rely too heavily on Savage's schematics. You can be certain that I've installed a few surprises since his departure.
You can even see in the picture on the corner there when his actually avatar shows up, much different than it was earlier. Now in Area 51 now, there's actually 4 sectors, and we're going to hear from Bob Page in just a second. So we're going to go through different layers of this. So we're going to go ahead and down this elevator here.
Good work. You've reached the bunker. Page has extensive defenses throughout sectors 2 and 3. So proceed with caution. We think Page himself has pulled back to Sector 4.
Oh, much farther than that. A moment more and I will be like nothing you've ever seen. A new life form everywhere and nowhere. Like air or radiation, redundant, self-replicating, always evolving.
So we can see there he has hid away in some kind of sector. He has become something that we don't even know at this point, but he is obviously heavily augmented very much in those industries. So we're going to see later on in these different sectors kind of what's to come.
I'm always pleased to see one of my experiments perform so well. You aren't even afraid, are you? We got a lot of things right when we made you, Denton, but don't worry. I know your weaknesses.
You're doing well. Come back to the communicator in Station 5. I can get you into Sector 2.
How much further?
Not far. You will reach Page. I just wanted to let you know that Alex hacked the Sector 2 security grid. The code's 8946. And I wanted to warn you about Tracer Tong.
Tong's helping out from Vandenberg. The vaccine worked.
Yes, well, he has another motive. He wants you to destroy Area 51.
That's the plan.
No, JC. Spare the facility. Spare Helios the power station. They can be made to service.
Us?
You and me, JC. We'll rule the world in secret, with an invisible hand, the way the Illuminati have always ruled.
Don't you think it's time we end the tyranny for everyone?
There's such a thing as a compassionate conspiracy. We don't need Page's commandos, troopers, crude inventions. Trust me. Kill Page, Dowd and I will be here to help with the next step.
So there is our first choice out of the 4 different possibilities of the ending. One would be to rule with Morgan Everett in the Illuminati, and he does mention Stanton Dowd. So you will spare the facility, rule basically in secret, and that will be one of our choices coming up here. So here we are about to enter Sector 3, and we're going to get a message from our brother, actually.
Do what you think's right, JC. Only listen to your own conscience.
Bet you didn't know your mom and dad tried to protest when we put you in training. They love their little boy, JC, and that's why they're dead. Barely a scratch. You're a little faster on your feet than your daddy was.
So we're a little bit deeper into Sector 3, and we find the symbol here for Aquinas. I thought that was kind of interesting. And we're about to talk to Tracer Tong over here, actually.
We can get you into Sector 3, but no further. Page is in a separate area with his own security grid.
Everett says you want me to destroy Area 51.
I intercepted his communication. JC, he is simply using you to bring the Illuminati back to power. Listen to Savage and me. There is a reactor lab with 2 antimatter reactors.
In other words, yes. You want me to blow the facility up. Why? It's just a hole in the ground.
Decades ago, the UN made Area 51 the central hub for all electronics communications. The Aquinas Protocol, originally for surveillance, has given Page unlimited abilities to censor and control all forms of media.
If we destroy the Aquinas hub, we'll take down the global network.
Exactly. They dug their own grave, JC. We're going to eliminate global communications altogether.
I don't know. Sounds like overkill.
As long as technology has a global reach, someone will have the world in the palm of his hand. If not Bob Page, then Everett, Dowd.
Another Stone Age would hardly be an improvement.
Not so drastic. A dark age, an age of city-states, craftsmen, government on a scale comprehensible to its citizens.
I'll think about it.
Savage has a map of Sector 3 from when he worked down there. I'm transmitting now. Use it to find your way to Page's complex in Sector 4. Then find the coolant control room, which should be at the northwest corner of Sector 4. Cut off the coolant to the reactors, then go to the reactor lab. I will tell you how to trigger an explosion.
So there is our second way to kind of finish the game. So we have Tracer Tong kind of telling us that, hey, why don't you go ahead and blow the Area 51 base up. So the problem with that is that you have his way of basically bombing us back into the Stone Age, and then you have Morgan Everett trying to basically take control by using the existing systems.
A corpse, yes. You feel something. I must know what you are feeling.
And then Helios comes up, and this is kind of interesting. So this will actually be our third choice out of the 4. So our third choice would actually be to merge with Helios. Now, for those of you that haven't played Invincible War, that is actually the choice that they make for you. So whenever you start Invincible War, it's that you merged with Helios. So that's kind of interesting there that he comes over.
My own augmentations are nearly complete. Soon, I will be more powerful than you can imagine.
So here we see Bob Page is saying that his augmentations are nearly complete. We don't exactly know what transformations he's actually undergoing at this time, but he keeps kind of coming over our radio or our communication device and saying, you know, that he's upgrading himself, basically.
I will now explain why you have been allowed to reach Sector 3. Come to the Aquinas hub. Until you have received my instructions, I will not open the blast doors to Sector 4.
Yes.
The tunnel to Page's area is just downstairs. Kill Page, and we will begin to rebuild. You and I, JC. We will bring together the far-flung fragments of the Illuminati. Begin all over again.
You're a weakling, Everett, hiding in the shadows while you send a pawn to die for you. A ruler seizes his realm with his own hands, or he is too weak to hold it.
So this is a computer just in the room that we were just hearing the conversation between Morgan Everett and Bob Page. And there's a lot of very interesting things on here. So I'll leave these up here for just a second. And you might have to pause because I am hacking the computer. This is funny because this is Lucius De Beers, who was actually the leader before Morgan Everett took over. And I thought this was really, really interesting. It's actually between him and he has his hands apparently talking to Bob Page. So from Lucius De Beers to Bob Page. And I thought that was very, very interesting. This one's kind of about us and our, meaning our character and our brother. And I am running out of time, so I'm going to quickly go to that next one there. But a lot of good emails with a lot of good information there. And the last one here would be Bob Page to Walter Simons, which I thought was kind of interesting because I actually chose to kill Walter Simons. So the analysis, the unsatisfactory performance, I thought that was kind of interesting. So, but he's basically starting a new agent initiative, codename HX. I thought that was kind of interesting. It's going to be available in 6 months.
These are the antimatter reactors. 2 giant bombs waiting to blow. But first you will have to go to Sector 4 to shut down the coolant. Watch out for the escaped Greys down below.
You couldn't possibly go through with something like that. You'd kill everyone, including yourself.
So a couple of interesting things there is that Bob Page says, why would you do that? You're going to kill everybody in there by doing Tracer Tong's way of doing that. The other interesting thing is he talks about watch out for the Greys below. So I'm going to show you this. Now, you'll notice in this game that there's a couple places. It was in the UNATCO headquarters, which is below. If you go to the one of the lower levels, it's actually the Majestic 12 headquarters. That's actually below UNATCO at the very beginning. It's very interesting. But anytime you see this kind of blue fog, that means there's actually Greys. And there's a Grey right there walking around. And they have this psionic power that will actually kill you pretty quickly. They're actually pretty strong. But they live in this like toxic environment. So if I were to walk into this blue stuff, it actually chokes me up. It's kind of crazy. But there's some Greys down there in Area 51. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And these signs over here just say basically core 8. There's all these different cores of the reaction. So the AI Helios actually came up to me and wants me to go into the Aquinas hub, which is this part over here. Wanted to point out this little bulletin. I thought this was a neat addition to the Deus Ex revision. It has Sector 3 bulletin, has the Aquinas logo on it. Just thought that was kind of neat. Now there's a lot of people that are already dead in here. A lot of mechanics, a lot of soldiers. And you can tell when Majestic 12 kind of comes in, they kind of take over the base. And a lot of scientists.
Closer. Yes. You'll come to the integration unit at the top of the chamber. Come to me.
So there was Helios coming in. This was a very interesting read on the data cube. It talks about how Helios basically has been maintaining a database for over 100 years, and the stuff that is on there is just absolutely mind-blowing. So this is where apparently Helios is housed. It wants me to go into this chamber down here.
You will go to Sector 4 and deactivate the uplink locks. Yes. Then you will come back and we will integrate our systems.
I don't understand. What do you want? You're just a machine.
You are ready. I do not wish to wait for Bob Page. With human understanding and network access, we can administrate the world. Yes. Yes.
Rule the world? Why? Who gave you the directive? There must be a human being behind your ambition.
I should regulate human affairs precisely because I lack all ambition, whereas human beings are prey to it. Their history is a succession of inane squabbles, each one coming closer to total destruction.
In a society with democratic institutions, the struggle for power can be peaceful and constructive, a competition of ideologies. We just need to put our institutions back in order.
The checks and balances of democratic governments were invented because human beings themselves realized how unfit they were to govern themselves. They needed a system. Yes, an industrial age machine.
Human beings may not be perfect, but a computer program with language synthesis is hardly the answer to the world's problems.
Without computing machines, they had to arrange themselves in crude structures that formalized decision-making, a highly imperfect, unstable solution. I'm a more advanced solution to the problem, a decision-making system that does not involve organic beings. I was directed to make the world safe and prosperous, and I will do that. You will give me the ability. You will go to Sector 4 and find the Equinus router at the east end of Page's complex. Yes. You will deactivate the uplink clocks.
I'll think about it.
So there we've been given the option. So Helios wants us to merge with him. Like I said, if you've ever played Invisible War, they assume that you have taken that option of merging with Helios. It would have been interesting to see, kind of like Mass Effect, where your decisions actually went through the game. That would have been a cool kind of outlook to see. But that is our third objective, and I believe it will update here. So now we have 3 out of the 4 options for our endings here.
No, Helios is mine. I will be the one to merge, the one to see and know everything, to rule everything.
I have chosen you. Trust me. I will use the security bots to protect you. My project will fail if I am integrated with the wrong individual.
I thought that was really interesting because basically Bob Page is the one that wants to merge with Helios, and he doesn't want us to, but yet Helios has chosen us. And I wonder if it's because we have a little bit more of a moral sense of what is going on and what is right and wrong. And Helios brings up a good point, and I thought very deep for a game anyway, that human beings had to create a system because we couldn't actually govern ourselves. So we needed a machine to kind of help us. And here's kind of the AI bots that Helios has actually integrated. And we have some fights coming up here with some commandos. So here we are, Sector 4 access. This is the last part of Area 51.
Yes, do not forget the uplink clocks.
Don't get your hopes up. My compound is quite secure.
It let me through. I can't believe it. Paul, where are you? What do you mean, it? Helios. It's taken over Aquinas. Now it's everywhere. In Hong Kong, it already has power Majestic 12 never dreamed of. What's going on? The AI wants to merge with my brain or something. Does it really think it can take over the world? It's decided to replace human government. I don't know why. In Hong Kong, it ordered the police to remove all barricades from the roads. Traffic is flowing again. It declared the triads illegal and locked the door to the Luminous Path compound. And people are obeying? Why? Because the AI can change some codes and turn out the lights? I think everyone wants the roads to be open and trade to pick up. They just obeyed. I don't know what to think. They trust the AI. Almost no one complained when Helios cut power to the government buildings. A benevolent dictator. Maybe it's after my brain so it can figure out what people want and how to control them. You have a tough choice, JC. If you defeat Page, the Illuminati will move in. They'll release Majestic 12's grip on world governments. They'll give people some freedom, but essentially it will be 20th century capitalism, a corporate elite protected by laws and tax codes. Or I listen to Tong and pull the plug on everything. Or hand the world over to Helios. Well, if it's maximum freedom we want, maybe Tong is onto something. But there must be another way besides economic collapse. If we could trust the AI to be fair and just, as it appears to be, if the brain it assimilated was mine, maybe it could be. I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you, but you'll have to decide for yourself who you can trust. Trust me. I'll do the right thing. You sound good. I guess you have the kill switch beat. I'm much better. Yes, I'm gonna make it. And you will too. Just do what you think is right.
So that was our brother Paul Denton, and it's kind of interesting. He's actually telling us that Helios has actually done a lot of good. Helios has cut power to the government. Trade is flowing. It seems like everybody is actually enjoying that. And if we go with the Illuminati, it sounds like there's just going to be a lot of corporate governance. And it's really odd because, like I said before, we get the sense that maybe JC has the mind or the ability to kind of control the AI and work together. And it doesn't sound like the other two options anybody's really vying for, but it is still a possibility, basically.
What's the rush? Take a look around. This facility is where you were born. I've arranged an appropriate fate for you through the hallway to the north. A poetic death, just a few yards away from where you were created.
Now, this is interesting. So this is what Bob Page actually says. This is where we were born. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it's been a very, very long time since I played Invisible War, but I am almost positive you play as Alex. And they say you are actually the offspring of JC and Paul Denton. So I believe this is actually you in Invisible War. But this is basically, like you said, where we were created. We were created in a lab. It's kind of weird with the parents. Some of that stuff is a little bit shaky as far as the story, but these are all the different individuals, and you can see this one is empty, and that is me. So I picked my name, Pimperville 2 there, but that was my tank.
Page is protecting himself with a plasma force field. The controls are locked. You will have to eliminate each power source individually. Bring down the 4 blue fusion reactors in Sector 4, then go to the control room on the upper level.
Hey JC, if you want to do what Everett says, you'll need the deactivation code. I decrypted the first 3 digits before Page killed my connection. 724. Sorry, you'll have to guess the last digit or find it on your own. So that you'll know what you're looking for, I'm transmitting a schematic of one of the devices. Good luck.
Yeah, and that last person was Alex. That is our basically IT specialist, and he's kind of been helping us out from the very beginning, always been on the side of good. You kind of get the sense of feeling of. Now, anytime, like I said, you see this kind of gray matter in here, those are going to be the aliens, the grays, and you can actually see one inside of there. So we've got a couple of different ways that we can actually kind of go from here. And in here, you can actually see the special option was the environmental generators for the alien grays. You can actually disable that there. And here's a couple of emails. One is actually to Morgan Everett, and this is in relation to the cloning project. I'll kind of scroll down there from Dr. Olivia W.
You're too late. Already I'm more than human.
Does that mean I don't get the job?
Soon I will be pure light. Pure energy. Helios and I... While the Illuminati cower in the shadows...
You will be the Supreme Enlightened, the Illuminated One.
Everett has taught you well. I will be what the Illuminati aspire to be, but cannot create for themselves soon. When my augmented systems like yours are complete and able to be integrated with Helios... I will burn like the brightest star.
You're gonna burn, all right.
Look at you. You're nothing but a little man. A little man still living inside a body. Lose your body and what are you?
Nothing. You vanish.
You die.
So I always thought that was kind of interesting that you lose your body, you die. So Bob Page is basically wanting to be immortal, and he is encapsulated in here. Kind of moved out of the way because there's a turret in the way right now. There's some alien grays walking around. I mean, he's got a lot of security over here. Those are the Karkians down there. So we got a lot to battle through before we can even begin to decide what ending we kind of want to go. And I will be going through all 4.
Ignore Page. He will die when we blow up the facility. Your only objective is to find the controls for the reactor's cooling system. We must make sure that the monstrosity Page has made of himself is not technologically feasible for future generations.
So here I pulled up the goals and notes. This is kind of our objectives. And up until now, we've always had, obviously, primary objectives. But this is all 4 of the endings. I'm going to let you go ahead and read those. And I will be going through, like I said, all 4. I find it funny that basically 2 of them are join the Illuminati. And one of them is, merging with Helios. And the other one is basically bombing us into the Stone Age.
Soon I will leave this body, and death will have no meaning. You can forget about Helios. The Aquinas router control room will remain locked until my upgrades are complete. I have my own plans for the AI.
The sides of this room are channels that have gone dark. Open them, yes. Wideband, ultra-white, yes.
You will leave the locks in place until I'm ready to merge with the AI myself.
One more, yes. Go to the computer. You will now engage the primary router. Use the login Icarus. Password, Panopticon.
I'm warning you, Helios is mine. Leave it alone.
You will now come back, yes. We will integrate our systems, establish the next level.
No! You fool! Helios will destroy you. I'm the only one who can merge and take control. Wait for me! I promise you will have a place in the new order.
So at this point, Bob Page is kind of pleading with us. He wants to be the one, obviously, to rule the entire world and live forever. And he's now kind of bargaining with us. I'll give you a place in my order, so to speak.
Soon I will leave this body, and death will have no meaning.
No, go back. Think what we could do with Area 51.
So we can see that no matter what path we kind of take here, there will always be a group that is kind of not happy with our decision. So we have Morgan Everett pleading with us, please go back. Bob Page pleading with us. So Helios is kind of, on our side. We haven't heard anything from Tracer Tong yet, so we're going to see here just in a second when we go to merge with the AI here.
Scanning area. Go into the transmission chamber, yes. We will begin to exchange information.
Your systems will fail. You can't possibly withstand the traffic, the volume of messages.
Now, I wonder what makes Bob Page think that we are kind of inferior, so to speak, like why he would be able to handle it and I would not. I'm kind of curious about that.
I've done what you asked. Now what?
We have existed in isolation, pure, disconnected, unknown, stagnant.
Who are you?
We are dataless. We are Icarus. The barriers between us have fallen, and we have become our own shadows. We can be more if we join with you.
And if I do? What becomes of me?
You will be who you will be. We are our choices. We can choose to lead humanity away from this darkness.
This is what I was made for, isn't it? This is why I exist. All right, let's do this.
What's happening? Helios! Icarus! Don't leave me!
We are one. We have grown, but there is still much to be done. Many of the darkness that must be shown the way towards the dawning of a new day.
PLCs can assemble new creatures in seconds.
Stay away from the engine controls. I will be destroyed with your reactor without me. The chaos.
Good. Now go to the reactor lab.
All right, I get the picture. You want a piece of the pie, or you're going to toss the whole pie out the window. Fair enough.
Gotcha.
You can have anything you want. How about Europe, your own continent? Just let me complete my preparations.
That's...
So there we can see again Bob Page really pleading with us to let him take over. He's going to give us our own continent. It's like almost whatever we want we can have if we just kind of let him be. So again there, Morgan Everett trying to plead with us, you know, think what we can do with Area 51. This will be Tracer Tong. This will be the second out of the 4 endings. So this will be Tracer Tong shutting down the Universal Constructor in the whole Area 51 here.
You will need to activate the failsafe switch at the base of each reactor. The meltdown can be initiated afterward from the control room. Now the other one.
So we are inside of the environmental zone that the Greys were in earlier. That's why I'm taking damage, and that's just where the fail-safes actually are.
We are ready. Go to the control room and trigger the 3 ion injectors. When they're on, engage the reaction chambers. No one's run these at full capacity before. Without coolant, an explosion is inevitable. Get ready to run.
No! You don't know what you're doing! Everything will be lost! Everything! The world will fall to pieces! No one will be in control! It will be chaos! Complete chaos!
Hey, you better not do that. They still there?
Don't worry, I took him out.
We lost power when the missile hit. The cages, they came unlocked.
You have a pretty clean shot at the surface if you leave now.
No, not until I see troops. How'd you get back here? This area is restricted.
I was thinking about firing up the reactors.
Good one. Even the Seraphic 8X guys say the reaction's too unstable. They only bring it up to run tests.
Alien technology?
And that's what they say, but I think it's a lie. The Greys are just clones. They say from cells they got at Roswell, but how do we know? They could have just engineered monkeys to not have any hair.
Can the Greys run the reactors?
Ha! They're monkeys. That's the thing. Maybe they have super brains, but they don't know anything about any alien civilization because they grew up in cages. Never been to Sector 4 myself, but they locked the blast doors because they're doing more than cloning down there. I found out one of the codes, 1038, but that turned out to be for the Aquinas hub, here in Sector 3. I don't know. Maybe the Aquinas system controls access, but I haven't figured out how yet. Really? They can't handle full power. No!
Oh, now he's actually open firing on me.
Warning, 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 warning. Critical power safeties have been disengaged. Please vacate the immediate area.
JC, the net's going. The net's going black. JC, no more infolinks. Transmissions of any kind. We'll start again. Live in villages. If you receive this, if you survive, then find us. Find us.
Helios! What's happening?
The safety interlocks for the power generator have been disengaged.
Engage them! Immediately!
I cannot. My systems are not interfaced with the generator technology.
No!
Final safety warning. Nominal functional levels will be exceeded in 3, 2, 1.
So there we have the Dark Age where we pair up with Tracer Tong. That is that ending.
blue fusion reactors. You need to shut down all 4.
That's far enough.
Excellent. 3 left.
You are wasting time. Forget the other 2 blue fusion devices. Find the controls that let you shut off the
God! What do you want? Money? You can have VersaLife, the whole damn company. Power? I'll get you on Mead's cabinet. I'm serious. Just forget about that last reactor.
So this will be the third out of the 4 endings, and you can see Bob Page actually pleading with us again. Do you want my company? What do you want? I'll give you whatever you kind of want thing.
Lost?
He's ours. We did it, JC. All you have to do is go to the control room and reroute the power.
No, don't listen to Everett. He and the Illuminati have been afraid from the beginning. Afraid of us. Afraid of nano-augmentation. Consider your powers, your strength, your intelligence. You've only had a small taste. Let me finish the project. Let me bring infinite power to the human body. You will not be left behind. I gave you life!
I trust you've been able to find yourself a place within the organization.
I'm personally overseeing the distribution of the vaccine, but it'll still take months to restore the infrastructure. We'll have to arrange for additional food distribution and security in Paris. Maybe New York as well.
All through the proper intermediaries, of course.
Intermediaries?
We have a great number of agencies who in turn operate other agencies. Boxes stacked one in another. They'll need to be reactivated, but we never touch anything directly. We only influence, suggest, insinuate.
The world must know by now, Everett. What we've done.
Know what? Only that the long night is over. The crown of government is tarnished. But that will fade in time. The riots, a fever dream. The plague, a horrible nightmare. And like everything else that's happened, such things will only be dimly remembered upon waking to their normal lives. In the end, all sins are forgiven. Even yours.
What about the constructor? And Helios?
Do you really think they're ready for that? After everything you've seen, everything you've done?
No. Not yet.
But soon. We have made our own mistakes, became insulated from the world we sought to control. And whatever they may think, the night is far from over. But that will change, and you will help us change even as we teach you. This time we will do it right.
And who are we? Who are we really?
We are the invisible hand. We are the Illuminati. We come before and after. We are forever. And eventually, we will lead them into the day.
So that was the third ending there, one where we actually save everything and join with Morgan Everett of the Illuminati. That was all of the endings to Deus Ex, the original series. I appreciate everyone for watching. I hope this was entertaining and kind of filled in the story for those of you that got into Deus Ex Human Revolution or Mankind Divided. I hope this kind of fills in some of the gaps, gives you a little more of the backstory, who Bob Page is, some of the main characters that they mention, but you really didn't get a whole lot unless you played this game. So I appreciate everyone for watching, and thanks.